Don't forget to follow Grit Daily News as well as me, your host, Loralyn Mears, everywhere on social media. And how about throwing 4 or 5 stars our way if you're listening to Apple or Spotify? Subscribe to our show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grit Files. We've got not one, but 2 guests here for you today. So we're going to have a little fun with this, just going outside our little standard format. We've got the 2 co-founders of America One Luxury Real Estate. And so you're thinking, how does that fit in here? Well, you think about the grit that it takes to get $12 million listings and to then be able to sell them and to do it in a way that you've got a very, very demanding client base and to meet those expectations. So here in the house today, we've got Maximilian de Melo, who has kindly said that we can call him Max, and we've got Patrick Niederdrenk. So with that, hi, Max. Hi, Patrick.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, we're going to just dive right in up front. So, I mean, you're in luxury real estate. Maybe just tell us a little bit about the market and how things have changed in Arizona and in around as a result of this whole pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have a very strong market in Arizona. We have, nice weather, good infrastructure and everything. So we've seen a lot of people move here from mostly California, the Midwest. So we get a lot of people like moving to Arizona, which increased demand. I guess the other side effect of the pandemic is that people go, especially the luxury market, go back to bigger houses. We've seen more like people looking for 3, 4, 5,000 square foot. Now they want 6, 7, 8,000. So houses get bigger again. His and hers office, home theaters are coming back. A lot of amenities that people used to just go out and get somewhere in the city. They just want it to be, in their house right now. So that's, I guess, the biggest change we've seen. And, with that high demand and the increase in luxury real estate, that the prices obviously went way up. And, we're still trying to catch up on supply with how much demand there is.
Now, one of the things I'm always curious about is if founders behind businesses identified the market opportunity first and then had the market sort of catch up to them, because I know you guys had a holding group prior to this, or was it the other way around where the markets and things started shifting and you thought, hey, let's get on this and leverage our experience? Can you tell me about that founder journey?
I think we kind of grew pretty organically into the higher end luxury market locally in Arizona. We started with townhouse flip for $90,000, which, if we consider luxury for a moment, the price point over, $800,000 or $1 million for a property. It had nothing to do with it at the time, but we gradually grew into doing bigger projects and selling houses at higher price points. And luckily, the market kind of appreciated with it, and that's why we are where we are today.
How have you both changed, as people, as individuals, as you've gone through this?
I would hope that we didn't change too much as far as, I think we're still very focused on the bigger picture, and we feel like we're starting to get some traction on where we wanted to be with, work, life, everything. So, but we always, our, I guess, running joke the last 5 years is in, 4 weeks we're going to be in the position we wanted to be in. And, that's been 4 weeks for the last 5 years. And I feel like you always, have that next step already in your mind. So I guess we didn't really change much because for us, we're still in the middle of building what we have in mind, for this whole thing to be in the end.
Now that's how the business has changed, Patrick. Are you comfortable sharing how you've changed personally?
I don't think, I feel like, it changes maybe a little. I had a baby last year that obviously on the personal level changes a little bit, but it didn't change much on my work schedule. I just, I don't see the gym as much and, that kind of stuff. But I think personally, we still trying to remind us of where we came from and where we started, and again we feel like we're just scratching the surface of what we want to really achieve in the end. So I would say we personally both haven't really changed much, and we're still trying to be humble and work on what we're trying to accomplish. And so I think we're still pretty much the same, I would say.
What about you, Max?
Yeah, I agree. I think we have very strong core values from back home. We were both born and raised in Germany, and I think that helps us a lot. We have a very strong relationships to our family, our friends, investors, and partners that live in Germany. So I think that the connection that we still remain, that is very strong to our roots, kind of keeps us in check, while at the same time living in the country with endless opportunities. And looking back at the last 3 or 4 years, certainly we can say that we've achieved and experienced certain things that were beyond of what we initially imagined. But like Patrick said before, you do the right thing. You keep your head down. We work probably 90 hours each ever since we got here. That work ethic hasn't changed, and I guess that helps to keep the balance.
One of the things I'm always asking founders is that when especially there's a founder and co-founder or two co-founders, that you spend all those hours together. Now, of course, I know in this pandemic era, a lot of people are working remotely from their own home spaces, but what's that like working together all the time? Do you hang out? Are you friends too? Or do you guys keep a policy where, yep, we work together well, but what you do on your own time's your own time, so that we don't spend every waking hour of every day? What's your philosophy?
I think it's we just let it happen naturally. We're obviously very good friends outside of work. I think we always say that there's very few people that we know that have that trust relationship that Max and I have. We support each other and our families. Like if there's anything that Max needs for him or his family, or the other way around, we always say it's a mix of, we're like best friends, we're business partners, we're like brothers in certain ways, and if you have that strong of a relationship, you don't really have to like plan stuff. And sometimes we don't hang out for a week, and then other times we hang out 4 nights in a row. And then obviously with work we probably text and call us each other like probably 25 times a day at least. So obviously very close connection on everything, and I think the biggest thing for us is the unconditional support and trust that we have, and that just I think that's the biggest cornerstone of everything we do.
What would you advise to other founders who don't have that kind of close-knit relationship in their inner circle and they're going it alone? Do you think that they should go in with a best friend, or is that a recipe for disaster? Or what should they do to try to build that community?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I could just chime in what Patrick said. The strongest asset that we have is the relationship that we have between each other. And that's independent of real estate or any other venture that we've done in the past. And our friendship and our partnership goes back, over 10 years by now. But it's not like everyone is that fortunate to have a fellow companion and a partner like that. So I don't think it's a must. There's many successful people that don't have partners. However, if there's a way to obviously build something like that, and that should happen organically, ideally starting with complementary skill sets, but an aligned vision, focus, and dedication to achieving something greater together. If that as a foundation can be set up or has potential, then I think that's the way to go, but certainly not a must.
What do you do when you disagree? How does that go?
Usually, I would say 90% of the time, we pretty quickly come to a shared opinion where one of us says, yeah, I think you're right. If it ever happens that we both think no, then it might take, until the next day that one of us says, I think you're right, or you're closer to being right. So I don't think we ever had the issue where it, would cause like a real problem or drag on, more than an overnight. Everybody sleeps on it. Because again, if you trust each other and both have the same goal in mind and work towards the same thing, even if it's not the same opinion, that both just think whatever they say is the best. So it's pretty easy to at some point give in and say, let's just go with what you said.
And I would think that your high net worth clients are looking for a drama-free experience. And from this side of the house, I would think that some of those clients are the ones bringing the drama. So you guys would probably have to, kind of toe the line there and keep everybody on track to achieve the outcome that's desired, either to buy the listing or to sell the listing.
Yeah, that's true. We have, I wouldn't say it's a policy, but again, very organically, we don't have any drama, nor between the two of us, nor with our extension of the team and the brokerage. And I guess, you attract similar personalities most of the times when you look at strong teams, whether someone is a disagreement or someone's a little bit more extrovert or introvert. At the end of the day, we all want to do deals here. We want to have a good time. We understand that clients are very demanding, and the business itself comes with drama. Almost like the bigger the deals, the more curveballs you need to kind of fetch on the deal itself, or different emotional involvements from your clients. So I think that itself is enough and requires all your attention, and any additional drama is just not necessary. We haven't had any of those issues, and I don't know if that's very supportive of the fact of getting deals done to begin with. It's already a lot, and especially in that price point.
Oh, I would think, but I sort of disagree with like a part of what you said, like, oh, okay, what your personality is and what you attract, because I try to live drama free, but drama always finds me no matter what. I'm like, I'm just going about my business. And then there's something, something dramatic that enters into my life. Like I said, I try to avoid it, but it just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it tends to find me. So on that topic, then, if we talk about things that are your undoing, for example, Superman, he had his kryptonite. What's yours?
That's a tough question. I think it's, it's just so hard, like you said, to plan for any of that stuff, or, you just have to accept that you're going to get curveballs, and usually, there's that saying, you get paid for, how big of a problem you solve, right? So I think you just have to expect it, and there's so many different facets of what we do, as far as on the development side, on the brokerage side, on clients, investors. I think we just got really used to, one of us always has the patience or the right angle of looking at something, where it might come in and both look at it and shocks us a little bit, but one of the two just grabs the situation, says, I'll deal with it, and depending on what it is, honestly, it's mostly Max. Like, he's just, the more something's on fire, the more he excels and kind of wants to, step in and get this figured out and fixed. So I think there's no real one thing that I would say that, completely throws us off or anything. It's just, whatever comes in, we both look at it, and then we'll make a plan and attack it and resolve it as soon as possible.
So Max, you have no kryptonite?
Everybody's a little bit different, right? Where Patrick says, with me, it's more the, if there's any situations where certain relationships between agents or client agent or within agent, I think I'm confident having the patience and I'm diplomatic enough to figure these out fairly quickly. I guess that's just something that I've always enjoyed, and no matter how big the challenge, I usually figured it out. But then on the flip side, when it comes to the construction portion of it, right, being on the job sites and figuring out challenges that happen every day. Right now we have north of 10 projects going at a time. Those are all houses between 5 and 15 million. You can imagine how much work that is, and having the patience with the subcontractors, our general contractors, to figure things out in the field and find solutions. That's on his side. So again, organically very complementary. We wouldn't have known this 3 years ago, but that's just the way things developed. So I guess it's where the other one lacks or isn't as strong per se. The other one just steps in. Has always been like that, and that's something that just takes a lot of time, experience, trust to develop that relationship. But that makes you, that pretty much puts you in the Superman suit with two people, and there's nothing that we can't overcome or solve, and that brings a lot of confidence.
Oh, yeah, enviably so. I mean, that's the kind of thing that every founder dreams of, is having somebody else right there who's got your back, left hand, right hand type of thing. And not everybody has that, of course. And so let's talk about that and the situations that you've had to encounter and move through. Is there anything in your life that if I gave you an undo button, personally or professionally, you'd go back and say, I'd really like to have another shot at that? I'd undo it.
I think there's some, I think overall, and I guess that's just something that everybody probably says, I think we wish we would have started sooner, right? Like knowing what we know now and what we achieved the last 4 years, you wonder why you didn't do that, 10 years ago. Because, we didn't know anything when we started this. So, we also didn't know anything 10 years ago. So why wouldn't we start back then? So I feel like that's always the one thing. I don't know. I feel like that's the main thing where you say, if I could change it, I would probably want to know what I know now 15 years ago and just get started, and know that if you focus on one thing and like don't get sidetracked, don't just follow that one thing, and even if it looks like you're not getting any better at it, just keep going, because you have those breakthrough moments, and all of a sudden this thing starts to grow by itself. And I feel like that's just the one thing where I wish I would have known that if you just push through, it technically doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna make it. So I feel like that's the biggest thing that I wish I would have known a long time ago.
How about you, Max? Anything to undo?
I agree. I worked in, from startup companies to multinational companies in Europe. I worked in South America. I've done a lot of things in my life. I feel different experiences that obviously make me the person I am today, professionally as well as on a personal level. But I can tell you there were some things I did, and in my work life, where looking back, it's a pure waste of time. And I kind of knew it going into it. But again, that led me to realizing that was not the case when I did it. Then I changed and worked somewhere else, and all these experiences, there's something I took from everything. That again makes me who I am today. So that was the only thing. I wish we would have started earlier. We came out here first time on a vacation, I think 2011. And it was just a vacation, and we were younger, and we were both doing different things at the time. But I wish we would have started earlier. Other than that, I think every experience, especially in the US here, looking back, we would have done everything the same, because that's when you grow.
Now, Max, you've referenced a few times these 80, 90-hour weeks, extremely high work ethic, that kind of thing. I'd like you to talk to our audience about that, because I've seen entrepreneurship highly glamorized, and you don't get to be one of the bros in Lambos and selling $12 million listings without working hard. Can you comment on that?
Yes, I can. I think it does. There's no shortcuts. Number one, um, I clearly don't believe in the 4-hour work week. We have always been very hard workers, whether it was here in the US or even working for different companies. I mean, oftentimes I remember, especially working in the startup space, some people actually thought that we were part owners of the company because we put in so much effort. But that's when you get passionate about something, you have a strong work ethic by core, and you don't want to live an average life. You want to overachieve first and foremost for yourself with everything that you do. So having your own high standards, and those are like natural ingredients, I would say, that either you have or you don't have, right? In combination with something that you really love, which is what Patrick and I do. We love real estate. We love developments. We love building great sustainable relationships with anyone that we work with. Carry a strong professional reputation here in town. Um, it's cheesy to say almost. It doesn't feel like work. There's obviously things that sometimes suck, right? That you just have to do. But most of the time, we work nonstop because we love what we do. And 90 hours as a reference, it's probably there's weeks where it's more. We never really stop. While at the same time we're trying to have a little bit of a balance in our private life, but we love what we do. So I guess that's the biggest comment on that. And it takes some time. Like when we started and we did real estate, we had no idea. We didn't know anyone out here. We just got going, and over time, by doing what we were doing, everybody fell in love with something different, right? Patrick loves the construction aspect. I love the relationship. I love the investment. I love the sales side, the marketing side. So, once you get a grip on the business and you just have to go with the flow and see what you love about what you do, and then double down on that.
Oh, I like that. And for the American football fans that are out there in the audience, the legendary coach John Madden that passed away over the holidays said the only way to easy street is through the sewer. So I think it speaks volumes, right? You got to do a lot of stuff, things you don't want to do and things that are hard to do to get where you are. You have to work for it.
Yeah.
All right. How can our audience find you?
I mean, the easiest is we have our website. It's maxandpatrick.com. That's our website that kind of shows everything on the real estate side. And then obviously Instagram, we have Max_America1. And then I have Patrick_America1. Those are probably or obviously LinkedIn under our names. So we're probably everywhere on social media where everybody else is. And we're responding to everything usually pretty quickly. So.
All right. Last question. This is our signature question. People wear footwear that reflects their personalities. It personifies who they are. So I'm going to ask each of you to give our audience a little glimpse into your closet. Describe the footwear that best describes you and your personality.
Okay, I guess we're a little bit that stereotype young entrepreneur. Lots of nice sneakers, and I guess, yeah, I think that's just as far as how that describes as a lifestyle. I think it doesn't have to be super fancy. It's just you need to like it. We like it's casual, but it's we're just I guess casual people, but we still like unique and nice stuff. So that's I think where that comes from.
How about you, Max? Your footwear, same.
So, I like to dress up, but when you were beginning to ask the question, I looked down on my shoes, what I'm wearing today, and I think that really describes us too. It's more on the casual side, but those are Nike Air Force Ones, and they're white, black, and gold. And black and gold are our company colors. We have branded phone cases. Our car has branding. I think that we're very strong in branding, and looking at my shoes that just caught myself. that even the shoes are in the color as well as the watch. So yeah, I guess that's maybe a good description.
Fantastic. See, it's a fun question, right? I like to end, on a fun note. So with that, we're going to wrap things up. And thanks again to Melo and Patrick Niederdrenk as part of America One, talking to us a little bit about luxury real estate and the effort it takes to get those high-end listings. So congratulations to you both for all the success that you've had. And thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.
And how about that fantastic intro by Touch Circle?